I got something. I feel real bad about it, but I got my first iPhone ever, and I kind of hate myself. Hey guys, Jacobowitz here from Brunch Boys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. It is lovely seeing all of your beautiful, beautiful faces. This is all about my food adventures all over the world, but today, this is a little series I like to call Influencer Secrets, where I talk about other things. A lot of times tech, a lot of times it comes down to cell phone, because obviously cell phones are a huge part of what I do, running my social media. And yeah, so I got the brand new Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max. It is the first iPhone I have ever owned. I know that's kind of crazy. So what this video is going to be about, I want to talk you through my decision-making process of what led me to this getting here in my hands. And then what I'll do is I'm going to use it for a week, come back with you, chit chat, and compare it to, so basically, I've been on a Samsung Note 10 Plus for over a year now. I have owned nothing but Samsungs for years. In fact, I have a drawer right here. Look at all these old Samsungs I have. This is the 4Gs. I have no idea which phones these are. I'm not the best. Oh, this is the Galaxy S5. This is the Galaxy S7. Like a whole drawer of all these old phones because I love them. And let's just get the elephant out of the room at first. I became a Samsung ambassador because I legitimately owned Samsung phones. It wasn't the other way around. I love them. I met with them. I went from BlackBerry to Samsung years ago. Why? Well, you remember that when the iPhone originally came out, it was only for AT&T. So I did not have an option to get one. And I was a little spiteful about it, a little bit. But also I just more to, like, I always made a decision of like, what is the best phone? That's what I want. I always let it up. And I always felt like the Samsungs every year were the better phones. For the past few years, I became a Samsung ambassador and they would just send me the phones. So my decision-making process was easier. But at the end of the day, even with the free phones, if I thought that it was really going to hurt me in what I did, it still made no sense. Free phone or not free phone. But anyway. So as of this year, I was not anymore. And for the first time in years, I had to make a decision of like, for real, what do I get? And a few things got in the way. One, I was so intrigued by the Fold 2. I had the Samsung Fold, the original one that came out before they pulled them all back. I got them pre-release and I loved it. But to purchase that one, which was like $2,000, for a phone that I think productivity-wise, it was cool. I loved having both screens, but again, I work on Instagram and TikTok every single day or whatever, social media. It wasn't optimized great for that. So it didn't make sense to be a daily driver. And to get a phone that's $2,000 to be a daily driver made no sense. I could have upgraded to the new Note 20 Plus, which looks fantastic. But a few things got in the way. One, what I've learned just in my personal use and coming from people within Instagram or TikTok, they will never say this officially, but the apps just don't work the same on an Android. They just don't. They have issues. Things don't look as good. Things don't upload as good. Things don't work the way they're supposed to. A lot of apps are like that. They're optimized for Apple. And I just felt like, damn, I really think it's hurting me, especially with Reels and TikTok. I just felt like the quality of what I was able to upload was not as good as it could have been coming from an iPhone. So the work-wise, it kind of made sense. And then personal-wise, I've been a green dot on my friends' phones for years, and they hate me. And honestly, like being in a group text, a group chat with friends that have iPhones and you're Samsung, it sucks. Because if they send too many messages, it basically bricks my phone for half an hour. So it was becoming really annoying, and I just felt like, damn, the Pro Max looks nice. Things I'm excited about. One, the Apple Pro Raw, which is not out yet for photos, but I'm very excited to be able to manipulate photos, but still have all the AI built into them. I think that was sort of what was missing with Samsung was you can shoot raw photos on the Samsung, but it doesn't have any like the processing power behind those photos, so they look like fucking shit, so you never want to use them. And as a creator, I like having as much control as possible. The cameras look great. The video quality looks great. All those things look great. Do I hate myself a little bit? Yeah, I hate myself a little bit. I took pride in being an Android guy. I have a Surface. I have a PC. I'm losing the connectivity between my phones now because I'm not going to go to a MacBook with my Apple. That kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, I just felt like maybe it's time for change. And I can always go back. There's nothing saying that I can't go back to Android after this experience with iPhone. So I've been chit-chatting for 5 minutes. This isn't what you guys care about. Let's open his phone up. Let's take my initial peek, and then I'll get playing with it. Ooh, I went with that like midnight blue. Oh, goddamn. Apple makes such sexy products. So what's funny is all the reviews that I've been seeing, right, we'll do this. All the reviews that I've been seeing were people basically complaining that the phone felt too big and heavy. But honestly, from going from a Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 Plus is bigger. So I think I'm the only one on this fucking planet that is perfectly fine with the size of the Max Pro. It feels really good in my hands. Again, people said it's heavy. I don't find it heavy. I actually think this has a better, just in the 5 seconds that I've had in my hands, it feels very similar, but the weight distribution feels a little bit better on this than this. The first initial 10-second impressions. Oh, wow. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get all loaded up. I'm gonna start messing with it. I might check in periodically. I don't really know how I'm gonna do this video yet, but I'm gonna do some sort of comparing the two videos, the two phones for you guys. A little bit more iPhone heavy, but I think just all these videos are my perspective. My perspective is going to be coming from the Samsung to the Apple. So yeah, guys, I joined the dark side. Damn it. Here is some B-roll of the phone. And while you're staring at it, why don't you follow me on Instagram at Brunch Boys. Lots of fun stuff there, and you get to keep track of my daily stuff and stories. Highly recommended, but whew. All right, guys, so it has been 1 week with my iPhone, and I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of thoughts. Oh, where do I even begin? Let me begin with what I don't like about it, actually. My grievances with the iPhone. Again, this is coming from never owned an iPhone, been an Android for years and years and years, so I certainly have a different perspective because I find that when I speak to my iPhone friends, they have no idea what I'm talking about. Here's the big things. The Android operating system is far and away better. It just is. And if you think it isn't, it's because you've never used an Android. The two biggest things I have to say that annoy the hell out of me are, one, notifications are not nearly as easy to handle and deal with on this as opposed to Android. It's hard to super explain. First of all, the notifications tray makes no sense to me. All the different levels and layers, and it makes no sense the way it is. And even the way you have to swipe out of everything, it just takes forever. There's no good, fast way to do it. It's not there. And I know that's something iPhone's been getting better at. Honestly, just copy what Android does, Apple. I don't care. Notifications suck. And for someone like me that gets a bajillion notifications a day because, you know, I run my social media channels, it's a pain in the ass. The other thing that I think I'm really struggling with is, so a lot of the other reviews talk about how big the phone was. So you guys saw, like, when I opened the phone up, I was like, oh, it's not that big of a difference from my Android, from my Samsung. Like, it's a little thicker, maybe a touch shorter, if anything. Using it, though, is a totally different experience, and that's because of the Apple operating system. The Apple operating system has fucking gestures all over the screen. So there's a lot of stuff you have to do in this top corner. There's a lot of stuff you have to grab here. There's so many reasons where your hand has to be all over the screen that you feel this phone being bigger than the Android, where a lot of the Android gestures are all handled right in the bottom where your thumb is. So it's so much easier to navigate. I also find that the gestures around Android things are all similar in most apps. Like the same swipes and everything work the same way, where it seems to be just up to the app what they want to do. which makes it much harder. Like, okay, oh yeah, swipe this way, it goes backwards. No, that's not the way it works in every app. So that is that. Listen, if it comes down just to operating system, Android wins. You are a total hater. You've never used an Android phone if you disagree. But let's talk about what I love about it, what I like about it. Because here's the thing. Spoiler alert, keeping it. And I'm going to use it as my daily driver for a number of things. Most of them are what we touched on before. So number one, every app is optimized for iPhone. Every single app works better, is less buggy, is faster, just works. Everything from Instagram to TikTok to Bumble to Time Hop, everything that I use is optimized for Apple. It just is. These apps come from America. Majority of Americans are on iPhones. They work on those apps first and then they get to Android. It is what it is. Makes my life easier. Messages, iMessage. That was another reason for it personally. I'm just like, well, all my friends are on it. Like literally every single text I got this week when I talking to people, like they would forget about what I actually texted them. And they're like, oh, blue dot, whoa. What made it easier there though is the photo and video sharing. Again, this isn't Android's fault. Apple has locked everyone else out of the ecosystem. But the ability to share photos and share videos more easily is really huge for me, who's constantly sending videos and photos. I even started an Instagram account for my dog, foster dog, Honey, Brunch dog Honey, if you want to give her a follow. Because I'm like, oh, she's with my parents now. I'm like, oh, I could actually get like nice files sent from my parents because they could just text me photos. That is a huge difference. And then let's talk about the photos. The photos thing is really interesting to me. I don't think that there is a better camera between the Samsung and the Apple. I think it's just preference. I think that what I saw just in my week using it was what is known. Samsung's photos are more contrasty, more saturated, which generally is what makes a good photo. Sometimes I think it's too much. So here's the first two videos that I shot. Last video I shot on the Samsung, the first video I shot on the iPhone. Hello, this might possibly be the last video I take on my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Hello, this is the very first video I'm taking on my new Apple iPhone. So like, if you're looking at those two files, I think right away you're like, oh, it's almost like neither one of them look good. I think there's such a stark contrast when you look in the back to back because you see like, whoa, is it Samsung saturated? Whoa, is it contrasty? But then you look at the iPhone and you're like, damn, I wish it had more contrast in there. I wish it was a little more saturated. But what's funny is what I've noticed more is that, again, this is an Apple thing. When you look at their photos and videos on an Android or you look at it on my computer, they look a little more flat than they do on an Apple. I don't know what it is, but it looks better when you're looking at it on an Apple device. I guess it just tunes more towards an Apple screen. And again, I just said the thing to my audience, which is predominantly using Apple devices, or using iPhones. So if I'm going to be a content creator, it kind of makes sense to shoot with that and have a better understanding of what things are going to look like on their phones. The video is odd. So one of the big reasons, I talked about was the video optimization within these social media apps. I don't know if I see that yet. I think because it's such a new phone and the HDR and the video, I have a feeling Instagram is having some issues with the video files. They are looking not so bueno when uploaded. They look good at the filters. They look a little, Instagram just sucks everything out of all the files. So it's really hard to tell, but I have a feeling of having some codec issues with the new iPhone files that I'm sure will be optimized and fixed shortly. It's not been a concern. It's just been like, it doesn't look so good. Filters though look way better with the video from the iPhone. I've turned to like on and off, like HDR on, HDR off. Does that make a difference? It doesn't seem to make a difference the way Instagram is uploading them. So hopefully Instagram just optimizes it for the videos that you're going to get out of your iPhone, which I imagine they will. What else? Yeah, I mean, the camera itself, I think is really good. Like, listen, the portrait mode stuff looks pretty. It looks nice. Is it a little too intense? Yeah, it is. It's an AI. It's doing it. It works. Like, here's some photos I took, just to give you guys an example. I did a shoot at this town place, Isabel's. This is a photo I took out of the iPhone. It looks bad right here, honestly. But again, Premiere always destroys JPEGs when you bring them in. So, like, it's definitely more saturated, contrasty on an iPhone. Here's like a LUT I put onto it that I edit with normally. It looks pretty good to me. Obviously, we're putting a LUT on JPEG. It's not gonna it's not gonna have the same impact as a normal photo, but it works. Again, here is portrait mode from the iPhone. Here is that generally the same photo with my camera, and here's the iPhone edited. It's never going to replace DSLR, or not DSLR, not shooting mirrorless. It's not going to replace a real camera. But I will say, I do feel more confident shooting on the iPhone than I do on the Android. I do. I think because it's not so contrasting and saturated as a creative person, I'm like, oh, I could manipulate these a little bit better. And I have more confidence with it. I'm like, oh, if I was out with just this, I would feel happier than I would in my Samsung. Again, I think this is more personal preference, and then that's a better camera, and this is a better that, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I do like it. And then, the night mode stuff too, I find is interesting. I find that when you're speaking to specifically night mode, I think that it actually does too good of a job. I think, like, if you look at these photos I took of Manhattan, like, that one's pretty. This one's like, the sky's so blue in these photos because it's working so overtime. It's crazy that a phone can do that. But to me, I'm like, oh, well, the sky is black. Like, y'all went too crazy on night mode. Night mode 2, though, you have these little flares, lens flares, when you have lights in night mode, which are odd. I don't know if it ruins the photo, but you notice it. I will say, one thing I really do like about it is low light performance. I think that, again, it's hard. You guys are never really going to be able to tell from the JPEGs going through Premiere and then being uploaded to YouTube and the fucking compression. But I find that low light performs better than the Samsung. It just looks better. Not night mode, but just in like bad lighting. I find that the iPhone's able to do more with it. So basically, all this could go away in a few weeks when they finally update and give us Apple Pro RAW. That is going to be a game changer. So let's just sort of sum up this whole thing. Why I'm going to keep the iPhone. Personal reasons, better communication with my friends and family is key. Work reasons, every single app is optimized. It makes my life easier. Photos, while awash right now, I lean Apple, but I wouldn't say it's definitive this way. The Apple Pro RAW could be huge. The ability to have all that AI functionality in that photo, but still be able to manipulate it in whatever way you want to, then you might not need to carry in your camera so much. I'm excited. Yeah. So, I mean, those are all my thoughts. A lot of thoughts. I could talk forever about this. Obviously, I think what I want to do is do a couple more shoots, maybe do some more videos just sort of comparing the iPhone to the R5. I mean, you guys let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, but I think it's powerful. It works. It is solid. Apple knows how to build a phone. I mean, I talked about like how the operating system isn't my favorite, but like this thing is a brick. It feels good. It is a stunning device, which obviously is what Apple's known for. So yeah. All right, so it actually wrapped up filming, and then I remembered a whole other things I wanted to talk about. So just really, really fast here because I just think they're key. One, the home screen stuff on iPhone greatly improved the widgets. I'm very excited to see what kind of widgets can start working. It seems pretty limited right now, but I like it. It's a better setup, but again, Android far superior in the customability of the home screen. I like points for Android there. The other thing was, FaceTime is great. I didn't really realize how much I was missing not having FaceTime, so thumbs up to you, iPhone, for that. The other thing, I find like swiping and touching things doesn't work as well. Am I crazy? I find that I keep having like really hit buttons to try and get me to click stuff. It's an odd sensation. It's one of those little sensations that you sort of have to feel to understand. It's not as maybe not as sensitive as the Android. I don't know. And I tried messing around with it. Issues there. The other thing, just getting back to cameras for 1 second, the portrait mode. Be careful with the portrait mode. You can get cool stuff. It can be funky though. I don't know if it's gonna be my default, but it certainly looks good. All right, let me think now before I shut off the camera. Do I have anything left to say about the iPhone? I mean, I'm sure I do. I'm trying to triple check. No, I think that's it. Okay, let's finish up the video. I like it. I'm keeping it. I want to know what you guys think. Though, comment below. Let me know what you think about the phone. Did you get one? Are you thinking about getting one? Do you have any questions? Subscribe. Obviously, food focused here, but we do a lot of tech stuff, especially influencer secrets. Share the video, I guess. Yeah, those things. And I'll see you guys later.